So it's 8:15 on Monday the 23rd of March. I'm on my way into work. You can see behind me an empty platform where it would normally be crowded with commuters, which is a good thing because it shows that people are heeding the government's advice to stay home. My big challenge today, I've got to try and manage some nervousness within my team about coming into work. Several of them over the weekend have been asking whether we can effectively just pay them to stay at home during the crisis. Unfortunately for us, in a Category 2 service like the railway, we have to keep in work. For my team, it's about keeping the network secure and safe. We are nervous that with the schools being off this week, not all parents will do a great job of keeping their kids at home, and we may have some antisocial behaviour around the network, so my team will be providing visible patrols to manage that. We'll also be going out to stations to reassure our staff who might otherwise feel isolated and provide a visible presence for those customers who are around the network. Okay, I'm now at New Street. This is the 5th busiest station in the country with a normal daily footfall of 150,000 passengers. As you can see, it's like a ghost town. However, as you look around, you'll see all rail staff are still in, Gateline staff are still working in a customer-facing role, ticket office staff likewise. We have to keep the network moving so that key workers in essential roles, NHS, doctors, people trying to get to urgent medical appointments can all continue to do that. It's 12:30, it's been a really hard morning. I've had to send 2 of my team home because, based on the latest government guidance, they are in the severe risk category due to things like severe asthma, so they're going to have to isolate for 12 weeks. One of the challenges we've got in terms of trying to manage the team is both the lack of guidance that's coming out and also the speed with which things are changing. It's really hard to try and interpret some of the guidance that's coming out and how we apply that to our workforce. The morale within my team is at rock bottom. I've just been talking to some of the guys and they've been asking me why they need to be in work when obviously the guidance to so many is to be away from work. My challenge as a manager is to try and hold them together, which is not easy. They're often, well, they're worried about the things that you would expect. They're worried about their families and loved ones at home. The question I keep getting asked is, if I pick up this virus at work, I could then take this home to my loved ones at home. It's very difficult to address concerns like that, but that's the world that we're in at the moment. It's now 3 o'clock. I'm at Birmingham Snow Hill. I've just been out to see the station team and the Gateline staff, just to see how they're doing, to provide some support and reassure them that they're not on their own through this crisis. As you can see behind me, the station is very quiet, which I guess again is good that people are heeding the government's advice. Staff around the place are doing the best they can. But it's fair to say everyone is scared, everyone has lots of unanswered questions. Probably the hardest thing about being a manager, a leader at this time is not being able to give answers to the questions that people inevitably have. I'm trying to do my best, I'm trying to share anything I do find out in a timely way. That's the best that I think I can do to help people. So over the next few days, I think what's going to happen is that some of my own team will get redeployed into different parts of the business to effectively shore up other parts of the business where they're short-staffed as a result of sickness and self-isolations. So I think 1 or 2 of my team will probably end up going to support the on-train cleaners. A couple of them will probably end up going to control. And a couple of them will probably also end up going to our duty train crew manager's office. It's going to be disruptive for everyone, but everybody is pitching in, as they always do. One of the things I love about working on the railway is that there's a tremendous team spirit and a desire to just get the job done, and we're really seeing that right now. But it's unquestionably one of the hardest periods I've ever had in my railway career. It's now 3:30. I'm just leaving Birmingham Snow Hill. And if ever you wanted evidence that God is at work in this situation, I've just had a wonderful conversation with one of our senior conductors. Never met the chap before, a chap called Ian, who it turns out is another Christian. So we just had a lovely chat on the concourse about how we can be praying for the organisation right now, and about how God can work in crisis. So absolutely lovely to meet him. Also discovered one of the cleaners here is also a Christian too, so it's just great to know that there are other brothers and sisters even here in the workplace who are praying for the business. The time is 5:05. I'm back at Northfield. I travelled back a little bit before the main rush hour because I figured it was the responsible thing to do to travel on a less crowded train. I'll be carrying on with a little bit of work when I get home via my email and phone. Hopefully today's given you a bit of an insight into what life is like at West Midlands Trains. Although things are changing so fast, it may well have changed again by the end of the week. I think for me the big prayer points really are just wisdom in terms of knowing how to manage effectively, to support my team, to hold them together. And also for my own health and for that of my family. Obviously I'm subject to the same guidelines around self-isolation, so I'm just hoping that I remain fit, and so do Steph and the kids, so that I can remain on the front line and continue to support my colleagues in the best way possible.